So this was Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Jake Paul is 27,
Bro,
a
you call
little
that shit,
younger.
bro. Except
Dude,
except Mike Perry did get knocked out though. He got
yeah,
TKO'd or whatever.
yeah. And honestly, dude, it looked like Mike was gonna get to the final bell. Just like how crazy Mike Perry's chin was. It was like absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous how many. I mean, he would have gotten to the final bell if he didn't just eat so many punches, but he was just way too accepting of getting hit versus a much bigger, stronger, faster fighter, I guess. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I guess for some reason I thought that he would be a little more technical, but I guess yeah. I
Yeah,
guess yeah, he was used to always fighting people that were like his height because Jake
yeah,
was definitely longer and shit. He just didn't know
yeah,
how to like get past that shit.
yeah. Like when I saw this, I was like, he's way too small. Like watch this. Like he just literally punches his whole body over.
I know, dude.
Like oh my god, and you can tell visibly, Mike's a lot smaller
Yeah,
right there.
they didn't look that much different in the weigh-ins, but I think the Jake rehydrated or some shit because he does look
Yeah.
bigger right here.
Hmm. Like Mike's standing straight up, and like I don't know,
Yeah, dude.
stylistically this it was like the height and weight, but also stylistically this was just a terrible matchup for Mike.
Yeah, and he was fucking like you said, just following him around.
Mm.
No. Like what I was saying that he had to like stay in the middle, right? Right there.
Yeah,
Stay in the middle and just cut off the angle. But like he
right.
just has like no experience when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, and we
There's
saw
also
some
in the
good stuff.
UFC.
Oh, keep
Yeah,
going.
go ahead.
No,
I
you're
was
good.
gonna
You're good.
say in the UFC, it's also an octagon, and it's same kind of like the BKFC where you don't really have to cut off the ring because you just gotta keep going in circles and shit. But
Yeah,
boxing, it's a little different with the square. Yeah, what
yeah.
were you gonna say? Who you just got caught with a four piece right there?
I was gonna say there was moments throughout this fight where Mike was doing the right thing. He was moving his head. He had his hands up. He wasn't just charging forward. Wasn't but he just there wasn't enough of it. And they're not showing it here, but in round three, he actually dominated that round and was like hitting Jake with a lot of stuff. But he couldn't hurt Jake, which was another big problem. Obviously, if you can't hurt the guy you're fighting, then that guy that has all those advantages, it's just gonna compound, and Jake's just gonna keep building and building throughout the fight. Whereas if Mike would have been able to hurt Jake, I feel like Jake would have been slowed down a lot more, would have thrown less punches, would have been more cautious. But after
Oh
round
yeah, it was
three,
like what?
oh yeah, after I was just saying after round three, it was like I think Jake was like, "That's all you got," and then after that, and Mike was like, "Shit, I can't hurt this guy," because after that round, it totally went south.
Yeah, it was probably a combination of Jake getting more momentum and Mike Perry losing momentum because he couldn't hurt him. But it seemed like a walk in the park. Yo, what do you think about well, I guess first things first. You think Mike Tyson's gonna end up fighting Jake?
Um, yeah, but we'll get to that. But I just want to go over this really, really quick. So here
Yeah,
on
go for it.
this last knockdown, and I'm not gonna say Mike would have made it to the final bell or anything, but so right here, Mike gets up, and the ref's like, "Step to your right," and I think Mike's like so in his head, he's like, I gotta look like I'm good. So he like takes this little hop step to like, like when fighters are like before the fight, they're like nice and loose and jumping around, like hopping. I feel like he was trying to exude that he was good by doing like a little like light hop in his step, and then
Mm.
it messed him up, and he stumbled because of it too. So what? I don't know. You can't really see it, but that caused him to stumble, and the ref immediately called the fight. But if he would have just taken, two short steps to the right, yeah, they're not showing it, but in the fight, he like takes like a little hop step, and then he loses his balance because of it. If he would have just taken two small steps, I think the ref would have let that fight keep going. I'm not gonna say like Mike would have gotten through the fight or anything, but I feel like that's unlucky for Mike. But yeah,
I
back
know
to the
what you
Mike
mean
Tyson.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
He kind of
but
tripped on himself.
yeah, yeah, because like he was still hurt, And like, but he wouldn't have fallen like that if he had just taken two small steps, like regular steps. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a Mike Tyson fight's gonna happen after that. You know what I mean?
Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe.
Also, check us out on Instagram at P number 4P Combat Sports Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.